Okay, and welcome to this video. And in this video, we're going to talk about creating the squeeze page. Now, if you're not familiar with squeeze pages, all it is something like what you're seeing on the screen here. It's basically an email capture page where we want to get an email address onto our list, and then we can make money from the subscriber later on. So you might have heard it before, the money is in the list. So it's about creating a list of subscribers that we can market to. And the easiest way to get them onto our list is with a squeeze page and giving them away something for free in order to get them on our squeeze page, something like a bribe, which I've mentioned earlier on. Now, in the previous video, we looked at creating the freebie, and on this squeeze page here, we're going to advertise the freebie, and this is the reason that they're going to sign onto our list. Now, the important thing about the squeeze page is that we keep it simple. We don't have lots of unnecessary information here. We're straight to the point. Okay, and I'd certainly most definitely recommend you mention an amount of money and a time frame. So something like this, for example, how to make an easy 93.78 almost every day straight into your PayPal. Now, if you mention an uneven amount here or an odd amount, like let's say 78.26 or 98.27, it sounds more believable. It's more convincing than just saying $50, $100, $200. Okay, this sounds more convincing. And then we need a time frame, like in this case it's every day, or it could be within the next, I would recommend something like within the next 12 hours. Because what happens is the prospect, when they land on your squeeze page, they start to imagine making this amount of money like within the next 12 hours. So they think, right, by 7 p.m. tonight, I could actually have this amount of money in my PayPal or in my bank account. Okay. And then we just simply have the email capture box here, which you're going to get from your autoresponder. And then we just have give me the info now. You could have something like instant free access or download now or something like that. If you're doing video, I'd recommend you would have something like free presentation reveals. I wouldn't mention video. I think the word presentation converts better. Okay. Okay, so now I'd just like to give you some more examples of squeeze pages which will convert well. So taking a look at this particular one here, we can see it's following the rules which I've mentioned to you earlier. It's very, very simple. It's very clean. There's nothing on this page that doesn't really need to be there. For example, fancy graphics, animations, or anything like that. Now, sometimes these arrows can work really well with conversions because it kind of leads the eye straight into the opt-in box here. One thing I personally don't like about this page is the word free. I try not to use the word free because a lot of people associate free with low quality, spam, and stuff like that. But then that's a personal choice. You may use the word free and you might get some really good opt-ins. In terms of opt-ins, you're looking at about 40%. So for every 100 people that visit your squeeze page, you should be getting a minimum of, I would say 40, let's say 30 to 40. Really depends on what you're giving away and your squeeze page, but I would say 30 to 40 people for every 100 that visit. If it's any less than 30%, then you definitely need to start changing the wording here and start testing other squeeze pages. But if you do follow the instructions that I'm giving you now in terms of how to build your squeeze page, you'll certainly get at least 30% opt-ins. Definitely no doubt about that. And just again with this one here, we have an amount here, an odd amount of 127, and a time frame, and that's all it is. And they're asking a question as well, which is really important. Okay, because once you ask a question like this, would you like to earn $127 every single day? People have no choice, but in their mind, in their head, they're answering the question, and you're kind of making them say yes, because in their mind they're not going to say no, they're going to say yes. And then it's like a positive action that you've made happen within the prospect's mind. Okay, so let's take a look at another one. Here's another one here. It mentions 2 steps, so this is another good thing to do. 2 steps or 3 steps, so it makes it seem really simple. 124 60 per day within 28 days. So again, the time frame, and then you can also do without here. This is really a good thing to do. Something you can test. So without any investment or previous experience, something like without traffic or without kind of experience. Yeah, as we see here, because a lot of people, you know, they think, oh, I'm going to have to do this and I'm going to have to do that, and I don't really want to do that. So without, and then whatever you can think of here is really good. Okay, and again, we've got an arrow and simple. Just enter your email and get access now. And let's just take a look at one more here. Free report reveals. Copy my simple system. Another good thing to use again. When you're telling someone that they can copy you, they can do what you do. Steal my system, something like that, and it's discover how I made X amount of money in a time frame without. Again, we see without again and without spending any money, and this is really good. Okay, without investment or without spending any money, and get instant access now. You can notice there's no opt-in box on this one, which is kind of like a 2-step opt-in, which is a bit advanced, and I don't recommend it for what we're doing. I would simply just have an email box here. Okay, so how do you create a squeeze page like the ones we've just had a look at? It's really simple. You're going to be up and running really quickly with this, and it's going to come down to your budget and and how much time you have and your experience level. Okay, so it depends how much money you really want to put into this. Remember, you're investing in a business. I'm going to get you up and running and making some profits kind of as quickly and as cheaply as possible, but there is going to be a little bit of investment along the way. Okay, so we could simply just Google WordPress squeeze page. Let's see, squeeze page. Yep. And then we'll get a WordPress squeeze page theme. Normally with these, there's kind of a bit more editing to do. There's a bit more work to do with these, which is why they're free. And I personally would not recommend that route because you probably just waste too much time on this. Okay. Personally, my favorite is kind of squeeze page software, and one of the best ones I believe is Instabuilder. We can see it here, and this is probably the simplest way that you're going to build a squeeze page. It literally is drag and drop, and I believe it's about $47 or $48 for a 1 site license, I think, or 3 domains. We'll have a look now. I think my PC is a bit slow and my internet connection is a bit slow, so I do apologize for that. Okay, so Instabuilder, as we can see here, it's $77, and that's for 3 different domains. Then you can create squeeze pages on. So I'm not going to go into Instabuilder too much. I just wanted to give you a brief look and let you know that that's an option. Okay, it's $77 for 3 domain license. It's really simple to use. It's probably the quickest way you're going to get a squeeze page up and running. If you don't have that amount of money to invest, don't worry, that's not a problem. We can also go to Warrior Forum. And what I did was I just did a simple search for squeeze pages. Okay. And then there's other types of software out there. Okay, high converting squeeze pages built within minutes without a web designer. Okay, and this is for WordPress as well, and it's going to work like Instabuilder. Probably won't be, you won't have all the options, all the fancy options, but it's still going to get the job done, and that's only $17. Okay, so there's a big difference in price there. And let's see, we can have a look at the demo pages here. So these are the demo pages. Okay, and you can see it's kind of more or less on the same lines of what we've looked at the start of this video in terms of the type of squeeze page that we want to build. Okay, so that's the free report reveals and what it is they're going to get, enter the email address, get instant access. Okay, so let's just go back to Warrior Forum briefly. If you go to the Warrior forum here and do an advanced search and just type in squeeze page. Okay, and you'll get a lot of different offers in terms of squeeze page software. We have thank you page design, which we'll talk a bit about in another video. So the two of them there for $19, which is not too bad. Secrets of a 98% opt-in squeeze page. You've also got the opportunity to purchase PLR, which is usually even cheaper still. So if you're on a really tight budget, PLR is just squeeze pages which have already been used by other people. I really don't see a problem with that, because the type of people that opt into squeeze pages, they opt into many squeeze pages. So most likely they've seen a lot of different squeeze pages, and they're not going to come to yours and think, oh, I've seen something like this before, I'm not going to opt in. So PLR tends to be the cheapest option out there, apart from the free option, which is the WordPress squeeze pages. You've got the software, and you've also got the option to have someone build a squeeze page for you, and that's going to be the most expensive option there is, and definitely not what we need for this business model. For this business model, we want to get up and running as quickly, easily as possible, and as cheaply as possible. So let's just have a quick recap on building your squeeze page. Clean and simple converts best. We need to mention the specific amount and a time frame in which they can achieve what we've promised them they're going to achieve. And we're only going to ask for the email. If you're asking for too much information, it's going to lower your conversion rates. And there must be a convincing reason for them to opt in, which basically incorporates this here specific amount and time frame. Now what normally happens is, once you're in your autoresponder, you'll create a list. Follow the instructions. It's really simple. I won't go into that in this series of videos, because I really want you to get up and running as quickly as possible. I don't want to waste time on stuff where the information is out there for you. In terms of Aweber, they've got some great videos there. You don't even need to watch the videos. It's so simple. You just create your first list. If you have no list in Aweber, they'll come up with some on-screen steps for you. They'll ask you to create your first list, and you'll just give the list a name. So it can be a squeeze page, or it can be whatever. You create your box, so that's basically the opt-in form with just the email. So if they give you an opt-in box with name and all other information, you're just going to delete that. So you're just left with an opt-in box that just has for email. They'll give you some code, and then whatever software or however way you're building your squeeze page, you'll just insert that code, and then every time they put in their email, they'll go on your list. Okay, so it really depends on what software you're using, whether it's PLR, whether it's InstaBuilder, or whether it's something you bought from Warrior Forum, in terms of where you put that code. That's why it's going to be different for everyone, so I'm not going to go into that. And Aweber itself is really simple with on-screen instructions. That's it for now. Get your squeeze page up and running, and I'm going to see you in the next video.